Hi, Vanakkam, Vandanam, Suswagatam, Namaste, Namaskar, and hi. Today we are going to be talking something really interesting. இன்னைக்கு நம்ம ஒரு ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கான விஷயம் பேச போறோம். நான் லீட் கொடுக்குறேன், நீங்க கெஸ் பண்ண முடியுமான்னு பாருங்க. I'm going to give you a lead and see if you can guess it. 1 in 500 or more than 2.1 million people in India. Oh, you're wondering, what is it about? என்னன்னு யோசிக்கிறீங்களா? No, we are not talking about culture. நம்ம கல்ச்சரை பத்தி பேசல. But நம்ம ஒரு set of people பத்தி பேசுறோம். We are talking about a set of people who are living in India. What is it? Let me tell you a cutie story. So recently, I was talking to a friend of mine who lives abroad, and she didn't want to come back to India. I asked her why. She said, I miss India. I miss everything about India, but my child will not be accepted. I was like, why? Because the society is not ready yet. ஸோ ரீசெண்டாக வந்து என்னோட ஒரு ஃப்ரெண்டு கூட பேசும்போது நான் என்ன சொன்னாங்க அப்படின்னா, எனக்கு இந்தியாவுக்கு திரும்பி வரணும், அப்ராட்ல இருக்காங்க, எனக்கு இந்தியாவுக்கு திரும்பி வரணும், நான் ரொம்ப மிஸ் பண்றேன், ஆனா என்னால வர முடியாது. நான் கேட்டேன் ஏன் அப்படின்னா, இன்னும் ஒரு ஆட்டிஸ்டிக் சைல்டு அக்செப்ட் பண்ற லெவலுக்கு இந்தியா வரல அப்படின்னு அவங்க சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. இது சொன்ன உடனே எனக்கு கண்ணில் தண்ணி தாங்க முடியல, ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருந்துச்சு. ஏன்னா நம்ம எத்தனையோ விஷயங்கள் இந்தியாவில் அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிட்டோம், பட் இந்த ஒரு விஷயம் அக்செப்ட் பண்ண முடியலையா, சொசைட்டி இன்னும் இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆகலையா, ஏன் அப்படின்னு எனக்கு தோணுச்சு. It was really sad after she said that, and literally I had tears in my eyes, and I just couldn't accept the fact that India being what it is, the top nation in the world right now, a country which is giving vaccination to the world, ரைட், ஒரு கண்ட்ரி ஒரு வேக்சினேஷன் உலகம் முழுக்க வேக்சினேஷன் கொடுக்குற ஒரு கண்ட்ரி நம்மளால இது அக்செப்ட் பண்ண முடியலையா அப்படின்னு யோசிக்கும் போது எனக்கு ரொம்பவே ரொம்பவே கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. ஸோ இதை நான் ஒரு சேலஞ்சா எடுத்துட்டு இன்னைக்கு வீடியோ நான் ரெடி பண்ணியிருக்கேன், which is about autism, one of the 5 developmental disorders included under the umbrella of pervasive development disorders. ப்ளீஸ் இது பைத்தியம்னு சொல்லாதீங்க, இது வந்து ஒரு டெவலப்மெண்ட் டிசார்டர் மட்டும்தான். ஸோ இன்னைக்கு நம்ம வந்து ஆட்டிசம் பத்தி பேச போறோம். எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா, ஆட்டிசம் இஸ் கேரக்டரைஸ்ட் பை டெபிசிட்ஸ் இன் சோஷியல் இன்ட்ராக்ஷன் அண்ட் கம்யூனிகேஷன் அண்ட் அன்யூஷுவல் ரிப்பீட்டேட்டிவ் பிஹேவியர். அதாவது இப்போ நம்ம வந்து மக்களோட சகஜமா பேசுறோம் அப்படி இருக்கோம் இல்லையா, பட் ஆட்டிசம் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா இந்த ஒரு சகஜம் இருக்காது, ஒரு அன்யூஷுவல் பிஹேவியரா இருக்கும். நம்மள மாதிரி மேபி நார்மலா இருக்க மாட்டாங்க, பட் அவங்க ஸ்பெஷல். இத பத்தி தான் நம்ம இன்னைக்கு பேச போறோம். அண்ட் இத பத்தி இன்னைக்கு பேச நான் ஒரு டாக்டரோ இல்ல ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு ரிசர்ச் ஸ்காலரோ கூட்டிட்டு வரல. ஒரு பிரைமரி லைஃப் கிவர், ஒரு கேர் கிவர் அண்ட் சம்ஒன் வித் an எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஆஃப் திஸ் ASD, அவங்கள பத்தி தான் அவங்களோட தான் இன்னைக்கு பேச போறோம். ஸோ ஐ எம் கோயிங் டு டிஸ்கஸ் திஸ் சேஞ்ச், this particular topic with not a doctor, but with someone who has been dealing with it day in and day out, and someone who is the primary caregiver and who has become an expert over the years of the experience. Check out who I am with.
Hello everyone, this is Nishath Kirmani. Do you know what autism is all about? Autism is a psychological disorder that affects the communication, social skills and behavior of an individual, but they are champions in their own stride. My grandson is autistic too. He's a very handsome young little boy, and here's wishing more power to the special ones on World Autism Awareness Day. Good luck to all of you.
ஹாய், நான் முன்னாடியே சொன்ன மாதிரி இன்னைக்கு நம்ம கூட நிஷாத் கிர்மானி அலி இருக்காங்க. அவங்க யாருன்னு யோசிக்கிறீங்களா? ஆமாங்க, நம்ம கிரிக்கெட்டர் கிர்மானி அவர்களோட பொண்ணுதான் இவங்க. And she is the Joint Secretary of ASI. We are with Nishath Kirmani Ali, Joint Secretary of Autism Society of India. She was in fact the ex-president as well. Hi Nishath, it's such a pleasure connecting with you.
Hi Soundarya, pleasure as well. Wonderful sunny morning.
Wonderful sunny morning. And how is it? I think Autism Day is like I would say observance day, but for you it is a very important day, right? How is it for you? இன்னைக்கு நம்ம வந்து வேர்ல்ட் ஆட்டிசம் டே செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். நம்மளுக்கு வந்து அது வந்து ஒரு ஹெல்த் டே, ஒரு மெடிக்கல் டேயா இருக்கலாம். பட் இவங்க மாதிரி ஃபேமிலிஸ்க்கு வந்து அது ஒரு செலிப்ரேஷன் அப்படின்னு அவங்க சொல்றாங்க. நிஷாத், a few words about you, please.
Sure. Before I begin, I would like to wish the community a very happy World Autism Awareness Day, since it is 2nd of April and it is World Autism Awareness Day. A big shout out to the community. More power, more empowerment to every family out there, special family out there. Yes, a little bit about me. As you introduced, I'm a mother to a handsome 17-year-old boy, Haider, who's on the spectrum of autism, and also a mother to a 4-year-old preschooler. I've specialized into autism from the Autistic Society of Karnataka, which is RCI certified. And I got into this field only because of my son, Haider, and to understand him. And it has led me to empower a lot more parents. And currently, I'm, as you rightly said, that I'm the Joint Secretary of the Autism Society of India. It's an NGO which is totally voluntary based, parent based. Parents of special kids, specifically autism. We work for awareness and advocacy, and also parent support and parent empowerment. I was a former president, and then now I'm the joint secretary, and we're doing our bit for autism. And here we are.
Thank you so much for giving your time. I tell you how difficult it would have been, right? But let me start. How has it been for you? எப்படி இருந்திருக்கு உங்களுக்கு இந்த journey?
It has been a wonderful journey, I would say. It's the way you look at it, right? Even regular journeys of regular children, regular families is not all rosy and all wonderful. But it's a journey of ups and downs, learning, challenges, and moving on and doing what best you can for your child. And at the end of the day, having a good, peaceful night of contentment and rest. So yes, it's been a great journey.
So we have had success stories of autistic people in our lives, right? Or autistic people na நம்ம வந்து நிறைய success stories பார்த்திருக்கோம். But as a society, right? How has been the acceptance? நாங்க எப்படி இருந்திருக்கோம் as a society, right? நம்ம வந்து ஒரு set of special normal people சொல்லிக்கலாம். But how have we accepted these special children? Usually என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னா, when we talk about autism, right? We it's a myth or it's a confusion that we think it's a mental disorder, but it is not. Am I right? And how does the society react to all of this? As a society, நாங்க எப்படி இத accept பண்ணிருக்கோம்?
Right. I mean, 10-20 years back from today, disability was very rarely talked about. I'm talking about India. I mean, back in the West, America, Europe, you have a lot of research, and you have a lot of material awareness, good infrastructure, everything going on for years up there. But in India, it's very much recent, and in this past decade there has been tremendous improvement. Back in the early 80s or 90s or even 2000s, I would say there was very little exposure, very little talk about disabilities as a whole thing. It was more of physical disabilities which were getting most of the coverage, the media coverage, or the talk about more of the physical disabilities, but mental and psychological disorders were rarely talked about. There was just one term, okay, mad, or
Yes.
Okay, exactly. So it was right. That's the way it was dealt with, but with research, with education, with awareness, with the media coming in, and with a lot of global exchange, people going and living abroad and coming back, getting the expertise, getting the professionalism, all those things have come a long way in India. And society, yes, vital role in accepting our children, in getting them included. But basically, I would say the society will look at your child the way you look at your child.
Absolutely.
So acceptance needs to begin from the family, from the parents, mother, father, work as a team. And unless you accept your child, the society won't. So, and there is a phase of denial with all the new parents who have gone through the denial phase of, you know, the when their child is first diagnosed, when the child is first uh, uh, is given a label. Not all the time, but that's where the denial comes in. Why me? Why my child? No, I think he's okay. I think he's just taking his time, slow. So these are the things that, you know, every new parent goes through. I went through as a parent 17 years ago. Um, so the earlier the parent accepts it in a positive way. I know it's very easy to say because a lot of parents have different ways of acceptance, different inbuilt strategies, different characteristics. Not everybody is strong, not everybody is positive. You know, some people are really emotional, sensitive, they cow down, and they cannot face reality. So the earlier you face and you're practical about the whole thing, yes, maybe there's a problem, maybe I need to deal it better, maybe I need to seek help, professional help, maybe I need to talk to parents, reach out. So the more open you are about it, the more open and inclusive the society gets. And mind you, this is the only way of awareness. Unless your child gets out there in the crowd, unless your child gets out there in the society, how would they know about autism? How would they know that there's something more to mental illness? How would they know that something called autism exists? So you got to take them. I would, you know, I always empower parents and always tell co-parents and new parents that, you know, expose your child, take him everywhere, whether it's a birthday party or a religious function, weddings, carnivals, whatever it is, involve them. Yes, there are going to be initial hitches. Yes, he might not know how to handle the situation. Maybe he would not know how to sit in a restaurant, but that needs a lot of preparation on the child. And, you know, this is just a little instance that I'm saying that, you know, okay, before you're going to a restaurant, maybe start off with a restaurant where with the food that the child likes, maybe his favorite idli vada, you know. So take it, you have to tell him that we're going to go eat idli vada today, so this is the way you got to sit in the place, you got to eat your food on the table, get up only after eating. I mean, you know, it's a notion out there if I start talking about it, but you know, preparation plays a vital role in the child being able to absorb the atmosphere, the challenges, and anything, because there are a lot of sensory issues that the child goes through as well, of sound, of sight, you know. All those things need to keep in mind, prepare and expose. That's where acceptance comes in, and that's how you're going to play a big role in awareness as well. And the
In fact,
more
I want to actually ask you one more question associated with this. You too spoke about this restaurant and taking them out, etc. There is a research that I read, and that's a subsequent question I'm going to ask you, right? And I quote from one of the research books here. Relatively little has been written on autism in developing countries as compared what has been published on autism in North America and Europe. However, of all the developing countries, India has by far the greatest wealth of research articles with over 70 to 100 plus chapters, books, etc., which relate to this topic. But my question to you is, as a nation, have we progressed, right? If, you said very interestingly, right? You have to expose your child to the outside world. And you also mentioned the acceptance of parents, which is a very important topic, right? I want to understand the acceptance from the siblings, the first family, the cousins, etc. That's one. The second one is acceptance of public eyes while you are outside with the child. That's number two. Number three is about the nation, the policies, the challenges that we have. So, நம்ம என்ன இப்போ my question இப்போ உங்களுக்கு என்ன அப்படின்னா, ஒண்ணு வந்து நான் அந்த ரிசர்ச்ல படிச்ச மாதிரி இந்தியா வந்து ஒன் ஆஃப் த லார்ஜஸ்ட் வெல்த் ஆஃப் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் இதை பத்தி வச்சிருக்குன்னு ரிசர்ச் சொல்லுது. சோ ஆஸ் அ நேஷன் நீங்க வந்து ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் பத்தி சொன்னீங்க, எப்படி கூட்டிட்டு போகணும் வெளியில அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்க, எப்படி எக்ஸ்போஸ் பண்ணி அவங்கள டெவலப் பண்ணணும்னு சொன்னீங்க. என்னோட கொஸ்டின் என்னன்னா, ஒண்ணு அண்ணா தங்க இந்த ஸ்பெஷல் சில்ட்ரனுக்கு வந்து அண்ணா தங்க யார் இருக்காங்களோ அவங்க எப்படி அக்செப்ட் பண்றாங்க, the first circle second circle ஃபேமிலி எப்படி ரெஸ்பாண்ட் பண்றாங்க, தட்ஸ் நம்பர் 1. நம்பர் 2, சொசைட்டி நீங்க வந்து வெளியில போகணும்னு சொன்னீங்க, வெளியில போகும்போது எப்படி உங்களுக்கு ரியாக்ஷன் கிடைக்குது அப்படின்னு நாங்க இந்த சொசைட்டி எப்படி மாத்திக்கணும் அப்படின்னு 2வது கொஸ்டின். 3வது கொஸ்டின் என்னன்னா, இந்தியா ஆஸ் அ நேஷன் நம்ம கிட்ட நிறைய பாலிசிஸ் இருக்கா, இல்ல இந்த மாதிரி வேற சேலஞ்சஸ் இருக்கா அப்படின்னு நீங்க கண்டிப்பா சொல்லணும்.
Right. Now, like I said, society is very important. And then in India, especially, a lot of the approaches are based on culture, religion, and, what would people say and think. Even recently, it has come a long way. We have come a long way in changing and I think I would say polishing our thoughts and approaches. Yes, like you quoted, yes, amongst the underdeveloped or the developing countries, India has definitely have more articles, more research topics, and this has come a long way. This has come a long way, and it's taken a lot of time because firstly, like you said, the acceptance from the society is very minimal, I would say. And that comes in only when parents have the positive attitude of exposing their children. So the fear of, how would my child be accepted? How would my child be seen? Has kept a lot of parents indoors, closed,
Right.
kept a lot of children closed. And even to talk about the issues that they're facing with a child is a big thing. It's a big deal for them. Not many parents come forward and talk. It's all under wraps and hidden. The child is either left at home or, with a grandparent to be just scared, or in worst cases, even abused, locked up and for years and days together. And, it's a very sad situation, but India has definitely come a long way. And like you said, how would the siblings or the immediate cousins accept? Like when it all depends on the parents' mindset to begin with. If it's positive, if there is inclusion of the child in every aspect of the child's living and the parents living, it's so much more easier for the cousins, for the siblings to accept it. They can take him along to the park for a walk or for an exercise or for a swim, or they will especially call your child for a birthday party, maybe even if he's making noise. I mean, it's the attitude. The other day we had a sibling conversation seminar which opened up our eyes and took most of us by surprise of the way the siblings have approached their special sibling. They are so much more positive than we parents, so much more open. They want to do so much more for their sibling, for their cousins. They want to hold awareness programs in schools, and they want to take them along wherever. Yes, the initial hitches are always there. Or what would my friends say? What would my peers say? And how would they look at me after that? But there's a lot more positivity and acceptance and inclusion from the siblings and cousins, more than the parents can ever imagine. So that comes in basically of how the parents look at it and how they start off with, and then automatically, and India has come a long way. It has been from the startups of parents coming together, like the organization of AFA, Action for Autism. It's a parent group which started off in the 90s, and then empowerment, and they built up, and they have in fact pushed a lot of legislation to come into picture. And unless you have the government support, government guidance, government provisions, benefits, you won't be able to do much. How much would parents fight? At the end of it, we're a society, we are governed by the government, and you need legislation, you need laws to help and support. like the PWD Act of 2016. It has included, it originally had 7 disabilities under its banner, but after the amendment in 2016, they have included 21 disabilities, taking from physical to psychological to locomotor, everything. So that gives so much more hope. And when you have a base, when you have a support like the government, well, that's a different ball game of when the laws are put into action. But at least there are laws coming in, at least there are benefits, at least there are rules and amendments coming in as far as disability is concerned, which is a very very encouraging move. And more the NGOs, more the parent support systems, the better it is to make a difference.
Absolutely right. இது வந்து கேட்கவே ரொம்ப பாசிட்டிவா இருக்கு. As a society நம்ம அக்செப்ட் பண்றது, நம்ம siblings or சொந்தக்காரங்க இதை அக்செப்ட் பண்றது and all of that, right? We spoke about cousins and how the society is observing and is able to accept how natural this could be, right? It's fine. We can accept as a society. And also the policy changes through various NGOs, right? நிறைய NGOs வந்திருக்காங்க. 90s லேருந்தே NGOs towards policy change work பண்ணிருக்காங்க. ஆமா, ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது maybe we would have had just one terminology that describes all of this, but இப்போ நிறைய விஷயங்கள் has been changed in the policy angle as well. So my next question, I'm very very curious to know, right? We will talk maybe konja poga, maybe we will be able to talk more about this, but have you ever chilled out? எங்கயாவது ஜாலியா போய் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? இல்ல நாங்க யோசிக்கிறோம் ஒருவேளை உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்குமோ அப்படின்னு யோசிக்கிறோம். I mean, is it very difficult or have you ever chilled out?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. I mean, I think there's a fighter parent in every parent, right? They somehow get out what they want. But yes, again, I'm not speaking for all parents. I have created a system for my child, especially I'm talking personally about myself. I've created a system for my child where I get respite at least once a week. Like on the weekends, he goes to his grandparents' house. So he goes there, which is his routine. And I have abreast everybody at my parents' house of what needs to be done with him, because he has a structure. He knows what to do. And at the same time, yes, I would say before that, the parent needs to start working on the ADLs, the activities of daily living, which you'd say, which would make the child independent. Basic hygiene, self-care, just that, working on that makes a world of a difference. Making the child ask for food or his basic needs, or ask for his needs, just his communication of his basic needs really gives you the room to expose him and to let him be by himself, even if it's for 2 hours. That's a great respite for parents. So basically parents need to actually work on the independence of the child, that he will be okay, he will be safe in that environment if I'm not around. So that needs to start very young. So once you have the confidence, you expose the child for half an hour without you, then you can make it for about 2 hours. So you have to push your limits. The more that the parent, is scared and is very rigid with pushing the boundaries, the worse it is for him, for them and the child. So unless you give him the space, how would you know that he's doing well without you? So, that little 1 or 2 hour respite also is very, very important. And that way, I've set up a structure of what Heather will be doing at mom's, dad's place. And they know they can always call me if there is a problem, there is an issue, or there is a behavior. So, and we work as a team as to how we go about it. So that is a respite for me. So I know sometimes it's like, I don't know what to do in the world when I'm not around my children, but that me time is very, very important for parents to bounce back. So, and unfortunately, there are not too many respite centers or centers out here which offer respite to parents, like a caregiver support. Okay, because there are a lot of times where we have important things to do and we cannot tag along the children, especially special children. So there could be a lot of official things. So where we need help, we need somebody who can take care of them for just for 2 hours, 1 hour, or just for half a day. So that is so very important. So, we all have to work on respite centers. Another thing that we could do is, join our hands together, have mutual families who have commonalities, who have special children, who can take turns. If they have somewhere to go, start spending time with them, start spending time so that the child is comfortable around them, around their house or around your house. That way, you're confident the child is in safe hands. Okay, and you can take turns when they need to leave their child, you can pitch in, and when you need the same help, they can pitch in. So that's very important to have common families. Break your bonds again, break your barriers again, I would say. Go ahead and make friends. Privacy issues can be dealt with. So that's the way you can get respite. And then, yes, like you said, chill out. Chill out, get your time out and chill out.
So when we talk about இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு issue disorder அப்படின்னு சொன்னா நமக்கு வந்து யூசுவலா ஒரு வருத்தமா இருக்கும், ஐயோ பாவம் அப்படின்னு இருக்கும். But we are beyond. I think the parents today are really beyond that. Oh my God, they don't want sympathy, right? They want acceptance, and it's fine, right? That's how the parents of this generation at least are. I know many of the parents, probably I've heard in the circle that I am, who have secluded their lives for various reasons, for embarrassment or their inability to manage the situation, stuff like that. I think with Nishath talking, I am myself, gaining that kind of a confidence that I'm sure after listening to you, Nishath, so many parents are going to come out and say, yes, I can do it. It's fine. I can do it, right? Another important, yes, fingers crossed. Another important question I really want to ask, right? I'm a mother of a boy and a girl, right? But how difficult is it, right? Different abilities will be there for different children. There will be different age groups that will start affecting it, from different spectrum of age group that we are seeing, right? From toddler to there are success stories who have gone to work and who have just been there, right? I want to know the difference of handling a girl child and a boy child, an autistic child, right? Especially because the maturity of boy is naturally going to be there, but girls go through a lot of physical changes, right? They start getting their periods, they start getting so many other changes in their own body, right? How is it to deal with such a thing? Have you met any parents like that?
Yes, let me tell you that the prevalence of autism is higher in boys than in girls. It is 1:4. If it's 4 boys diagnosed, it is 1 girl. So the prevalence of autism in girls is much lesser. But yes, we do have children out there, girls out there who are autistic. During my training session, during my diploma in specializing with autism, we used to deal with a lot of girl children with autism and challenges and behavior issues. And it would be at a smaller age level of 6, 7. And also, where the Spastic Society has a beautiful infrastructure and a setup where they have children across disabilities. So we did deal with a lot of adult young girls who have a lot of physical issues as well, unable to move. And then, yes, autism is definitely a drastic disability, because it deals with a lot of hyperactivity, it deals with a lot of social issues. And yes, like you said, a girl child has a lot more challenges, especially when she's hitting puberty. The concept of puberty, the concept of sexuality, and how she would deal with her hygiene, how she would handle her menstrual time is it's a lot more challenging. Definitely. The challenges with boys are different. It's again coming back to and starting very early and starting to prepare the child very young. And our children learn through visuals. much better than most of the special children, are visual learners. I'm sure all of us are as well. If you show us a PPT, we are happier, and you show us a nice story, we are happier than just listening to a boring conversation, right, from a speaker. So the same way with special children, they work the same way. You show them pictures, you show them social stories. There's something called social stories, where there is a story built up on every situation, even whether it's going to a market or just dealing with guests coming home. So the same way, a social story of how they would deal with menstrual hygiene. What happens to the body changes, and all those things uh, pointed out and explained to the accuracy. Every little thing needs to be explained in pictures. You cannot assume the child would understand everything just by showing. So these are the things that you can work with for the girl child with autism. And of course, there are a lot of fears when it comes to girls and boys as well. The fear of abuse, the fear of sexuality, the fear of how they're going to be treated, even with the caregiver. It's so dangerous. The parent is so worried of what if the caregiver abuses, and
In
which has
fact,
been a very
during
sad
lockdown,
story.
if I'm right, there was in social media, I think there was this particular child who actually lost way, and the parents were searching, and that child ended up being an autistic child, and all of that. The parents were fearing about the safety, and the abuse was one of the main reasons, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I remember this particular point. Yes, it just builds a lot of things. So
right.
so on that
So
note, I think it was just wonderful talking to you. Yes, if you had something more to add, I have one more question. I know you're pressed for time, but I have one
go
more
ahead.
question.
Go ahead. Anything for the
Um,
cause, Soundarya. I'm glad. This is the best way of awareness, really.
so, we have spoken about Spastic Society. We have spoken about Action for Autism. We have spoken about ASI, which is a huge organization, voluntary-led, parent-led, right? So, if there is one change that you would like to make this place better for autistic adults or children, right? What would that be? That one wish, what would that be?
That one wish would be to wipe off autism and every psychological disability. But well, I personally feel there is a big question mark, and the superpower above there has a lot in store. Each child is so spiritually connected, and it's unbelievable at the wondrous ways of autism is still not with so much of research, there's still not one cause for autism, and therefore there's not one treatment for autism. So it's a mystery out there with autism. And so yes, of course, one thing I would like to wipe off autism. But coming to reality, there are a lot of things that I would like to change, taking from inclusion from the home, yes, to the acceptance of our children into schools to begin with, and a lot of development and inclusion in the vocational and the employment sector. There are not many people who, and everybody needs to be employed. I mean, that's a circle of life. So and of course, coming to the end of it is assisted living for the child. Like, what after us? What after we are gone? What after the parents? So all these areas need to be more developed, more researched, and be provided for. That would be my wish.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's one umbrella of topic that we have to discuss, right? There are so many things, so many minute details, and so many things to discuss about it and make the change. Um, I am going to be having conversation with different experts on this, and I will see how best I can bring this forward. Right.
Yeah.
On that note, thank you so much for spending your time, and I really hope that we can make this a better place for you and for children of the disorder. And I really hope things change a lot and make it smoother for you. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining in, and we will be in touch definitely.
Sure, definitely. Thank you so much for organizing this, Soundarya. I thank you personally from my organization, Autism Society of India, for giving us this platform for which is the best way of awareness, like I said. And the more people are watching it, the more awareness, and the more it, and it's easier for any lame person to handle it.
Absolutely.
So thank you so very much. It was wonderful, and wonderful to talk to you, and all the very best.
Thank you and Jai Hind.